Well, hey folks, Real Honesty with Jermithlin. I'm Jermithlin. My review of the greatest Royal Rumble ever in history. It's the biggest Royal Rumble. It's 50 men, and it's a bunch of other matches. And it was a glorified house show. If these Saudi Arabia shows lead to progressive change and women and anybody, any of my friends in this community, the LGBT community can actually, not feel threatened there, great. And they can have the proper rights and everything and can be treated like human beings, then great. And I hope that happens. It won't happen anytime soon, but the Crown Prince seems to be pushing for those kind of changes. They had a propaganda piece that I'm going to touch on here in a little bit. But I'm going to try to go through things as they happened. So, one, the stadium was beautiful. It really did look like a beautiful stadium. I don't know how recently it was built. Probably within the past couple of years. But very beautiful stadium. Byron had a spearman suit that inspired the title that somebody would win when they won the greatest Royal Rumble match. Puke green, spearmint green, whatever you want to call it. I hate spearmint, so it would have made me puke. But Byron, I don't know what he was wearing. JR, I'm not going to knock on him because he was really tired after a flight. And he's still dealing with the loss of his wife. And he's done this for so many years. And he has all the health issues. I saw some people tweeting some stuff about him that was kind of mean. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. King was there, whatever. I don't really care for King anymore. Thankfully, they didn't have him in the match, the Rumble match, like I thought they might. Booker was there, whatever. Great amount of pyro. Great amount of pyro. It seemed like WWE, I mean, it was propaganda, clearly, but if WWE can even help a little bit, if the talents and good people behind the scenes, unlike Kevin Dunn, when that Bucky Beavertooth motherfucker gets fired, I'll be happy. Same with John Laurinaitis. I hope they're kicked out on the streets for good when Triple H and Stephanie take over, even though I don't really care for either of them. The pyro's great. There was a showing of unity in the beginning. Of course, Cole was bullshit. I don't know if Cole was being overproduced by Vince or if Cole had just been drinking all goddamn day or if Cole has some kind of health issues. I really don't know, but this guy was off all night. It would take, if you played a drinking game, I mean, I don't drink, I'm straight edge, but if you played a drinking game with your buddies about how long or how many botches Cole would make, you would be drunk. You would be drunk like within the first 2 matches. Because at one point he said, Cena won the WWE title from Triple H at Mania 22. You were wrong, Cole. Not that Cole's ever going to watch this. Cena retained the title. Cole showing his stupidity once again. And I have my notes, by the way, because some shit happened that I wanted to touch on. I got a rant here a little bit later. But Cena won. It wasn't a bad match. It did not need to be as long as it was. Sorry, it didn't need to be. And thankfully, this show was not 6 hours like originally planned. It was 6 hours with the kickoff. So, cool. Okay, 5 hours, and I don't have to rush through my review. I can make my review long if I want, because I had to be at work at 4 p.m. So this review, by the time you guys see it, I will probably already be halfway through my shift. But Cena won. We've seen the match before. It was not a dream match. They'd faced off before. They'd had better matches. But look, they're both older. Both are clearly part-time performers in the strictest sense. Not bad. I'm not saying it wasn't entertaining in parts, but it was basic. Cena won. LOL. La 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 la. It was the single biggest win for Cena in the month of April, at least in a single month. Yes, that is a dig at Cena being single. I will touch on that in another rant at some point about Cena and Nikki, where, hey, they're their own people. They can do that stuff. They can be together or not be together or whatever, but Cena shouldn't have been the way he was. Nikki should have not been with a guy that wasn't going to give her what she wanted. So that's a little bit of a taste for that. Then we go Cedric versus Kalisto. The crowd was dead. The crowd was seriously dead. I mean, by the way, check out my Twitter feed if you guys want to see a lot of the stuff that I tweeted, because I just wanted to go full offensive jokes and stuff like that, and just have fun. Because really, that's what this show should be. I didn't call for anybody to be killed or anything, because there were some people that were doing that, and I actually had to report a few accounts during it. That was really bad. But Cedric versus Kalisto, it was not a bad match at all. Cedric won, cool. The Salida del Sol into a lumbar check was a great finish. Crowd was dead though, but Cedric and Kalisto had a good performance. Cedric versus Ali was better. I think Cedric versus Ali here would have been a whole lot better. But hey, Kalisto was there, whatever. I mean, Kalisto was going to do a job. Maybe they didn't want to have Ali job twice. They should have had Ali on the show. That's just my opinion. I mean, I know he's not... I know the whole cultural difference of other countries and everything. I get it. But they should have had Ali on the show. Whatever. The Woken Deleters of Worlds. Matt and Bray versus The Bar. And it was a flat finish. It was decent, but it was a flat finish. There was no doubt Bray and Matt, there was like a sliver of hope that maybe The Bar would win and go back to Raw, but then what else are they going to do? Be 5-6-time tag team champions? Matt and Bray win. They will probably be champions till, let's see, this is like the end of April, so they'll probably be champions till about June. Drew and Dolph could win, and then they could break up after a couple months right after SummerSlam, and then Drew could go on a big run, or something like that. I mean, I don't know. But, yeah. They won. Cool. Okay. It's sad to watch Matt in the ring at this point, but whatever. I mean, were there botches? Whatever. It was a glorified WrestleMania type house show. That's what it was. It had a WrestleMania sized card for a house show, like, you know, style of finish. And then Jinder versus Jeff Hardy for the U.S. title, and oh, sweet Jesus, was this bad. Oh my God. I mean, look, Jeff is too broken down really to be a single star at this point. He needs to tone down his offense. I mean, I know he's done the high-flying offense for years. He did, and people were like, oh, he did an Impact for a number of years. He was in Impact longer than he was in WWE in some stints, or, I mean, at least, maybe not totally, but you get the point. I mean, he was in Impact a lot of years in his 2 stints, and especially in his stint from 2010 to early 2017, so pretty much about 7 years, off and on, because he had times where he was off, like 2011, where right after Victory Road, he was actually off till about Bound for Glory. But Jeff is so broken down. People are like, oh, he was doing those spots in Impact and stuff like that. But Impact, the way their tapings took place, he was able to do those spots and then have a few weeks off or a month off. If he just did that, like, you know, if he fell off the top of the cage and landed on some steps. Jeff is too broken down now. I mean, the whole thing about the Woken deal, you know, for Matt and then later Jeff, was to disguise the fact that neither of them can really go in the ring anymore. Matt less so. It is hard to watch Matt kick. But anyway, back to this match. Jeff Hardy had to really carry this. I mean, because, I'm sorry, if people like Jinder, that's great. I love that people like Jinder. Because, honestly, you should cheer for who you like. Jinder is rotten. I mean, he is absolutely rotten. I mean, both guys are botching. I'm not just going to put this on Jinder. Both guys are botching. That was a serious botch, you know, towards the end and stuff like that. And you know the one I'm talking about if you watch the match. And if you don't, watch the match, because I really can't put it in the words. It's just really bad. But Jeff Hardy gets the win. Cool. Pins Jinder. Jinder is now on Raw without a championship. I actually hope this pushes Jinder back down to like the lower mid-card. Because he's not any good. People are like, oh, he seems like a star. He's getting legit reactions, legit heat. Not really. He's kind of being, you know, it's like, we know you're not any good. And he's not. You have the Singh brother there. Sunil? I think Sunil. I think it was Samir that got injured. I don't honestly care between the two names. I mean, I don't want him to be injured. But I don't know the difference between them. Sorry, I don't. They both take insane bumps for Randy Orton, and they really need to stop doing that. Like a Battleground. Ouch. But, yeah, Jeff's broken down. Jinder's a goddamn botch. Jinder cannot work. It just was not good. This is on my worst matches of the year list. This might actually be number 1. Cena versus Kane might be number 2. I mean, I know it's only April, and we got a lot of months. I mean, it feels like a lot of years with all the TV. But this is going to be on my worst matches of the year list. And the Shayna Baszler match will probably be on there too. But that's going to be further down. Because this was rotten. This was honest to God rotten. Jinder is absolute trash. And Jeff Jeff's still over charisma-wise, but he's so broken down. Saudi Arabia propaganda piece. Look, again, the lady talked about this. She feels safer in Saudi Arabia, feels more positive about stuff going on in Saudi Arabia. There is obvious change going on there, if there is, and if women are getting the rights that they should have gotten decades ago. And they should have gotten them decades ago before they did in the U.S. I'm not saying the U.S. is absolved. I'm not saying the U.S. is great about progressive stuff. They sure as fuck aren't, given who some fuckers elected in office, and yeah, I'm going to get upset at the ones that are still supporting them, and there are a couple talents that were in the Rumble that I was hoping would actually be just jobbed out immediately. Because they're Trump supporting trash. And yeah, this review is going to get a little political. Because that's kind of what this is. I mean, like, it's wrestling. It did take me out of it a lot. But there were times where I just got pissed off at some of the stuff I saw or some of the stuff I got retweeted. Or not that I got retweeted, that was retweeted on my timeline. But anyway, everyone is welcome in Saudi Arabia. I hope one day that's true. But, again, no. They should be. But they aren't. Do I believe the citizens want positive change? I do. And I hope that happens. Honest to God, I hope that happens. I'm going to be angrier at the government officials that don't want that change, not at the Crown Prince, and not at the citizens that actually want that change. Am I saying everything needs to be happy, hunky dory, and a bowl of like marshmallows and whatever and stuff like that? No, you're gonna have evil in the world, and it's who we got elected. But anyway, the whole point is change needs to happen. Acceptance. I mean, come on. It's not bestiality. It's not that kind of shit. It's not interspecies stuff. It's love between another human and another human. It ain't pedophilia. It ain't bestiality. It's love between a grown adult and a grown adult. If you can't see that, that is your problem. Don't come at me with your hate, though. Don't. Because I will not take that. No one should have to take that. I used to be extremely hateful, racist, and homophobic, and I'm not anymore. If I can change, anyone can change. If you don't want to change, that's your goddamn problem. So now back to the show. Jericho with the list, with list time for Mike Rowe. I hope that's who that is. I actually forgot. I think it is Mike Rowe, but you know what happens when you say you're the wrong person? It was pretty funny. And then now another rant. I know that I said something about Meltzer recently. It was about one tweet that he said during stuff that he said about Bruno on the date of his death. And Meltzer did have a touching tribute to Bruno, who's apparently his friend. That's great. And that one tweet, that Bruno tweet about his MSG sellout number, I was angry about it, but Meltzer was a friend of his. Bruno was a friend of Meltzer's. Okay. I'm going to recommend that you guys just look through Meltzer's timeline really to get the whole gravity of this situation, because it had to do with, and by the way, another guy by the name of Satin, who, it was something about how WWE doesn't care for their women's division because they're going to Saudi Arabia, yet New Japan doesn't have a women's division, or women's wrestlers, they have valets. The Japanese promotions, however, there's Stardom, I believe, is one of them. I think there's another wrestling promotion in Japan that's that's a women's promotion exclusively. So they at least have that. WWE is being inclusive on this, and yet they're going to Saudi Arabia. It's not quite the same thing, but that, whatever. I mean, that's just, I'm more focused on what Meltzer said, because Meltzer said, and it wasn't the entire tweet, but this was the beginning of the tweet, and right there it nullified anything he said. Meltzer has lost it. He says, not one person has defended slavery in the U.S. Now, I don't know, again, if Meltzer's tone deaf or if he's just high off his goddamn rocker, because weed, I believe, is legal in California. I don't know if he's watched too many super kicks happen in a Young Bucks match. I don't know if he saw so many flips in a match that it broke his brain. I don't know if he believes the earth is flat, like Flip Gordon. Flip Gordon needs help because he's a great athlete, but that's wrong to believe the earth is flat. But whatever. Meltzer saying that, though, is blatantly ignorant. Now, it's blatantly ignorant, I mean, I'm not even talking about the other tweets he said, but just to say that one line. Yes, there are people still in the South that defend the fact that slavery existed, or that slavery still needs to be around. Apparently, he doesn't pay attention to that. Now, is he talking about the world of wrestling? Well, I hate to say it, but in the world of wrestling, there probably are people that are racist feeling that way. I believe Orton is racist, or at least racist against black people. Meltzer saying that, though, just why would he say that? Why? Because he couldn't have thought that would actually work without getting a ton of, heat. Like, seriously, how stupid is this guy? This is the guy that people hold up as some kind of, god of fans because he gives matches 5, 6 stars or whatever and people love it. Look, that's great that he loves these matches. Okay, that's fine. But to say that statement and then to try to defend it and defend other stuff, how good are you at digging holes, Meltzer, other than the one you're digging yourself right now? You're going to be in the Earth's core by the time you're done trying to dig this hole. I mean, seriously. He's never going to watch it. I don't care. He's got his own job. He makes money off of this, off of what he does. Great. Okay. Meltzer, at the end of the day, is just a goddamn fan. But to be that tone deaf, not one person has defended slavery in the U.S. Meltzer, you're an idiot. You're a goddamn idiot. I actually am baffled that people listen to you when you say shit like that. Do people say a lot of stupid shit? Yeah, I said stupid shit, and I will in the future. But I've never said anything that dumb. At least recently. Have I said stuff like that in the past? Have I brushed things off like that? Yeah, I talked about a video where I had to change. Go back and watch it. It's like, a retrospective, a change for the better or something like that. I forget exactly what I called it. Ask me if you're on my Twitter feed and I will send you the video and I'll actually find it because I can't remember the video right now because I'm a little pissed off. But Meltzer saying that, it's just seriously read the guy's timeline because it is actually, unless you're blocked, and actually, quite frankly, with what he keeps saying, I kind of hope I do get blocked by him because the guy, it's honestly so stupid. People were coming at him, and there were people that may have even voted for an idiot that were going at Meltzer thinking that was a bad idea. Or that still support an idiot. Well, actually, the ones that still support him were actually agreeing with him because that's their problem. And yeah, again, political. But Meltzer doing this was just batshit stupid. And I really don't get why people support him and think that he's such a god among fans. And that's what he is. Whether he's informed or not, he's still just a fan. Has he worked for WWE on stuff? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't give a shit. Saying that is blatantly ignorant. Anyway, let's go through a couple of these matches pretty quickly because, the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos, and it happened. Cole, of course, said during this, the late, great, it's like, using a line like the late, great Sergeant Slaughter, who is still alive, by the way. Now, Cole did correct himself. But Cole being that stupid, I mean, I'm not shocked. Because Cole is a moron. Anyway. Whatever. Bludgeon Brothers retain over the Usos. Cool. Whatever. It's a glorified house show. Seth versus Joe versus Miz versus Balor. 4-way IC title match. Cole at one point talking about, I think he talked about the weather because it was like Joe and Miz facing off, like talking about the stadium and the weather. It's big, it's hot, and it's beautiful, as they had the camera on Samoa Joe. Best call there, Cole. I hope he was talking about the weather. I mean, whatever. Cole can be however he wants, but it's just, like, really? I mean, that's the line you're going with? I mean, you don't think you're going to get jokes made about yourself for that? It was a good match. Had some good spots in it. Some typical spots. I mean, this could have belonged on a B show if they had done a B pay-per-view. Or maybe even SummerSlam, something like that. It wouldn't have belonged to Mania. But they did have a really good moment where near the end, Balor is like going to get the title and Rollins jumps onto the ladder and gets the belt just before Balor does it. That's a great way to do it. And it builds to a possible... I don't know if Seth's going to turn heel or Balor's... I don't know if Balor's going to turn heel. Something's going to happen, though, and this is going to be a great program that you could continue for a number of months. And it could be great. Honest to God, this could be great. And that was a great finish. And then you had some Saudi Arabia trainees. Cool. Okay, I hope these guys succeed. You had Sean Davari, who was Muhammad Hassan's interpreter, and also was Sheikh Abdul Basir. Yeah, Sheikh Abdul Basir in Impact. And he also had a stint in Lucha Underground. Maybe he's still there, I don't know. But Sean Davari and Arya Davari, who are, brothers, obviously, Iranians in Saudi Arabia, waving the Iranian flag. If you know anything about public relations or, political beef, just Google that and find that out. Yeah, it was a way to get heat. They did put over the Saudi Arabia trainees, and that's good. That's good stuff. I really did enjoy that. Nakamura's theme, that stuff's glorious. Nakamura versus Styles, good. It had its good moments. It had some good drama. It had some good finish. It had some good false finishes. Of course, I still think Styles approves of the whole, how the Saudi Arabia government treats the gay community, because I think that Styles has his own issues. Styles is a great wrestler, but if he believes that, that's his problem. And if you know the whole joke with Styles in the gay community, check it out, find it on YouTube, you'll see what I mean. It was a good match, but it did have a double count out, and that was a bit of a limp finish, but it is pushing it to Backlash. Nakamura's going to win the title there. If Nakamura doesn't win the title there, then I hate to say with how they built him up there, they've killed him dead. But then, so it was a good match. Good match, not great, but was it a little bit better than their Mania match? I mean, we had a decisive finish in the Mania 34 match. This, however, did have some good moments. So I'm not going to fault it too much, but that Backlash match better be stellar. Then we have Rusev versus The Undertaker. Taker's entrance never gets old, no matter how old Taker gets. They went longer than I expected. This match was actually almost about 10 minutes. Rusev took care of Taker. Taker hit his spots. It wasn't bad. Aiden interfered. Aiden got tombstone after Rusev was in the casket. So then they did 2 men, 1 casket to replace 2 girls, 1 cup. If you've never seen that video, please never watch it. Never. I regret watching it. Well, a friend of mine showed it to me. But anyway, not bad. I mean, Rusev Day got buried. We all knew it was going to happen, but it was more competitive than I expected. Even though it was a bit of a squash, at least it went longer than I expected. And Rusev took care of him, and Taker got his moment. Feel bad for Rusev. I hope he leaves and goes to New Japan. Anyway, Reigns versus Lesnar, a steel cage for the Universal title. Canned reaction for Reigns from the beginning. They didn't even just try to hide it. And it wasn't even that some of the fans might not have been cheering for Reigns, because it's a big stadium, big open stadium. But just some people were sitting on their hands. And then when they finally got Reigns in the ring, they started booing. I'm not saying everybody was booing, but a good amount of them were booing, at least the ones around the mics. And Lesnar got cheered, mostly. German suplexes, F5, Superman punch, spear, whatever. Chair got brought in. Heyman slammed the door on Reigns' head. Yada, yada, yada. The crowd was done with Reigns. Quite frankly, the crowd was kind of done with Lesnar. Then you had a spear through the cage wall. Now remember, it's pinfall submission or over the top rope and both feet touch the floor. Now, you have to watch the replays and stuff like that because they're going to make it into an angle. But Reigns spears Lesnar through the cage. And there we go. Okay, so Lesnar, even though he was on the mesh, he did hit the floor first, body first. But his feet were still on the mesh. So unless his feet suddenly hit the floor where I wasn't seeing it, Reigns' feet technically hit the floor first. Now, I didn't want Reigns to win, and he didn't. Lesnar retained. But now they're going to turn into another match. Not at Backlash. Money in the Bank, maybe. Watch them turn it into Money in the Bank. Reigns wins and then gets cashed in on. Okay, there we go. I'd be okay with that. But Lesnar's going to hold the title long enough to break Punk's record. I guess he's 45 days away as of now, so he's going to hold it. He's going to hold it till Money in the Bank. Actually, I think he's going to hold it past Money in the Bank because that's going to be close to 45 days, or it's going to be right on the money. And then even though Punk held the WWE title, not the Universal title, because it wasn't around at the time, they're going to find a way to do that. This was really bad because Reigns got booed even in Saudi Arabia, even in front of a fairly casual crowd. And he got booed. And that was great. I mean, I'm laughing at it because I think that maybe WWE's probably going to try to just have Reigns beat Lesnar anyway and be the ultimate guy to do it, but it's not working. Oh, he's getting reactions. Yeah, and you're doing this bullshit, and it was actually worse than our Mania 34 match, which I didn't think was possible. So that both these matches are going on the worst of the year list. Sorry, they are. But whatever. Brock retains, cool, okay. He's breaking Punk's record. They'll be petty enough to just say he's the longest reigning champion of the modern era. They'll do it, even if it's not the same title. I'm going to quickly go through the Royal Rumble. I'm not even going to go through the Royal Rumble participants, and I actually did write them all down. Check WWE.com for the list if you want. Bryan and Dolph start out. I think Sin Cara has gone to too much catering. Instead of punching people out in catering, he's been eating catering. And look, I'm not one to make physique jokes, but Cara is a high flyer. He should keep himself a little trimmer. Daniel Bryan did very well. He lasted till, I believe, the final 3, about nearly a minute and 10, or nearly an hour, nearly a minute, 10 seconds, nearly an hour, 10 minutes. Yeah, everybody's just coming out the ring every second. Mark Henry, and he's gone. Mike Kanellis, and he's gone. And that's really sad. They had this guy, Hiroki Sumi. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the guy. I'm just not. No clue. He was gone quick. Hornswoggle, why? I mean, nothing against the man himself. I just didn't care about Hornswoggle. He was gone quickly. Kurt did well. Kurt and Daniel Bryan had a little bit of a face-off. That was pretty cool, but that ended up, bleh. That ended up just kind of, being all taken care of. Elias did really well. Eliminated a lot of people. Same with Braun. That was really cool. Elias looked pretty strong, and I was very happy about that. Goldust appears. Saudi Arabian government would have hated 1990s Goldust, that's for sure. Tucker Knight did well. He lasted a pretty good while. But like I said, I liked what Elias did. Poor Mojo, Big E, throwing tainted pancakes at Tucker Knight. Gross. Orton attacked Cruz, keeping another black man down, like Orton is known to do. And then Babatunda, I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know who he is. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the guy. Hopefully he does well. And then, what number was it? It was number 39, and Titus is running to the ring. And Titus, remember the NXT thing where he slipped while carrying the keg? Back when NXT was shit. It was a competition show. This beats it. This beats it by far. He's running to the ring. He trips and almost slides under the ring. It is a gift-worthy moment. This is absolutely one of the funniest things I've seen. I mean, I just managed to laugh it out of my system. Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh. Laugh it out of my system before this happened. Or before I did this review. And it was just ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. But oh my God, it was so funny. Now look, Titus should not be made fun of. Don't add Titus with this stuff. I mean, yeah, he should have a sense of humor about it, but it was funny. It's unfortunately one of the things that Titus is known for, besides kissing his teenage son on the mouth. Titus, what are you like? What the hell? But that was great. Just him slipping. It was just absolutely hilarious. I mean, well, what else do you want me to say? Braun was super over, eliminated a ton of people. Great Khali was gone, thankfully. Why? Why did you even pay this guy to show up? He doesn't have any working knees. He can't do anything. I think he was born in, 72, 73, so he's 45, 46 years old. A lot of giants don't live as long as he did. Let him be in Bollywood and let him do what he does. It's just, no, he shouldn't have been in this. Have another cruiserweight in it. I don't care. Bryan's chest was busted like crazy. I mean, my God. I mean, I guess he didn't take the trash out and Brie got pissed at him. Sorry, I had to say it. But Shane did a coast-to-coast on Bryan. Shane stopped doing the coast-to-coast. And then, not on Bryan, but on Braun. And then Braun later, after getting up, caught Shane. And remember when Undertaker hurled Shane through the announcer's table at King of the Ring 2000? This was almost better. I mean, Taker did physically, took him up and hurled him like that. And Braun just took him and just threw him. But just Braun throwing him and the fact that it was I think a greater distance, still impressive. And just Shane doing it, I mean, I hope Shane's okay. Because they got to, redo Shane's contract where he still gets a good amount of money to pay as an on-air authority figure. They want to have him wrestle once a year. Have him wrestle once a year, but he's got to step out of the ring soon. He doesn't need to be wrestling multiple times. Seriously, he does not need to be wrestling multiple times. They had, and then Jericho was number 50. He didn't last very long. I don't know why they had Jericho up here. I mean, I get, okay, he's a big star. I hope he's back in New Japan soon, feuding with Naito. If he can be back in New Japan. I don't know if they're seriously done with him or not. I hope not. And then Braun eliminated Big Cass. Of course, Big Cass eliminated Daniel Bryan, which I'm disappointed Daniel Bryan didn't win, but I'm happy Braun won, because Bryan didn't need to win that. He was over enough. He did well. It's kind of like how people feel Seth Rollins should have won the gauntlet match on Raw, that 2-hour gauntlet match, when no, that would have been insane for him to be in the ring for 2 hours. But Daniel Bryan did very, very well. I mean, even though it's 50 man, lasted longer than any man in a Rumble history, I believe, or close to it, depending on the time, because I don't believe it was 90-second intervals between everybody. That Rumble was over awfully quickly. At least it seemed like it, because it flew by pretty quick. Wasn't a lot of drama here. There were a lot of eliminations, Ascension, Fashion, Popo, and stuff like that. New Day. Other stuff. Like I said, Elias did pretty well. Braun, Bryan. Ziggler did good for how long he was in there. Unfortunately, they have Drew McIntyre in there, and I was disappointed. He was back in the States. Braun eliminates Big Cass. Braun holds it. He wins the Spearman title and the Giant Trophy. It was a glorified house show. Do I recommend people watch it? Yes, if you want to. If you want to laugh and if you want to have some fun moments. But it is botch-filled, especially by Cole. And the Titus botch, I mean, you could probably just catch on Twitter. Or somebody could put a video on YouTube or something. But it's something to watch if you really want to. You don't have to. And I get why people, and I do want to say, in closing, I do get why people didn't want to watch it. The reason I did is because I'm a wrestling fan. But I also wanted to speak out like I did about people that, about the reasons why I watched it and why I'm wearing this shirt. Because I proudly support my friends and my family members and anybody that's in the LGBT community. You all deserve better. And I hope you can get better. Not just in the U.S., but all over the world. Anyway, C+. I mean, C+. It was for comedy. It was a glorified house show. There were a lot of matches that were eh. It was above average. But I'm sorry, C+. Anyway, that's what I gotta say. Agree, disagree with what I said, or for what I said, whatever you want to do. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Twitter link in the description. Spend real honesty with Jarmuthlin. I'm Jarmuthlin. And I'll see you soon, guys.